Hello guys, and welcome to this session about how to display an input box with PowerShell. So in input box, generally we get the user input in the GUI format. So in PowerShell we have options such as a read host command that can be used to get the user input, but that is not a GUI method to perform this activity. And it has certain limitations, such as you cannot do a copy paste the way you do in GUI. So the better option is to have a GUI input box where user can enter some data. And can be helpful in cases where you have created any setup application or anything like that. Okay, so if we have multiple options to do this in GUI also, so we'll do some planning here. So the first thing is what we can use VB script method. This method can be used, and I have mentioned the script that can be used to create input box with the help of VB script. But the approach does not work in all machines. In mostly Windows 2012 machines will have the issues where it will give error message, the COM is not registered. So why don't we go with the extremely native approach where we use the .NET framework. As you know, in PowerShell we can use all the .NET features which any GUI application, C# or VB.NET can use. So we'll try to leverage those features, and we'll create a custom input box where we have multiple options where we can adjust the size and we can adjust the values where we want. Okay, so next so we'll use a custom form and we'll create it. We'll create a OK button and cancel button, and along with that we'll create a text box and label that can be used. For example, the text box can be used for user input, and the label will be static where user can just read the message, for example, enter your name or something like that. So this is the box which we are predicting. So it will have multiple things. One will be the title, and then this will be a label which will get the user input, and then we have text box here where user can input the data, and then we have OK and cancel buttons. To implement this, we can utilize these assemblies. So the one is system.drawing. System.drawing can be used for adjusting the size and location. So whether you use a size or a location, in both the cases we'll be using the drawing class. And the next is the system.windows.forms, which will be used for creating label, form, and button. So these are the assemblies we are going to use, and first we'll load the assembly and then we'll utilize them and create the type based on these assemblies. Okay, so moving to the next, we'll have a demonstration here. Okay, so in demonstration what we'll plan here is we'll create a function which will have 3 parameters. One will be the title, message, and the default text. Default text will be displayed in the text box itself. Okay, so before we do anything, first what we'll do is we'll load the assemblies and we'll proceed with this. So first thing is to load the assembly. Okay, to load this, we'll use the system.reflection.assembly and then load with partial name and then system.drawing. And we'll use one more assembly, that is the main one. That will be used for creating the forms and components. Those.forms. Now we run it to confirm whether these assemblies are there and in the system, and it works. Okay, so there is no error message, and we can see these assemblies are there. But we don't want this output, so what we can do is we can add a void here. Using void, we will not get anything on the screen if assembly is loading. Okay, so you don't see anything. I'll use a clear screen here so that you don't see anything much. Okay, so it works fine. The next thing is we are going to create the function, and that is the custom input box. And we have 3 parameters. One is the message. Oops. And the next one, it will be the title. And the last one is the default text. Okay, default text. Okay, so now assemblies are loaded. We don't have to do anything again. What we'll do is we'll create a form. So first there are 3 elements. So one is the user form. The user form will be used to create all the controls. And then we have OK button, and then we have the cancel button. Sorry, okay. And then we have the text box. And then we have the label. Okay, in the user form, we are going to create it, and so the directive will be dot user form equals to, so it will be a new object, system dot windows dot forms, and then within forms we have form. So all the objects, whether it's a OK button or a cancel button, they all will have the same. Like OK button, if you see, if you'll have a new object, then again system dot windows dot forms dot button. Similarly, the cancel button is also a button only. So cancel button, it's also a form, it's also a button. And the next is the user text, and then that will be a new object, system dot windows dot forms dot text box. Similarly, the label will be label, or you can say user msg equals to new object, system dot windows dot forms dot label. Okay, we have created them, but as of now we will comment so that we can create components and test them one by one. So the first element, and that is the important one, will be the form itself. So we have loaded the assemblies, and we have also created the type of this form. So now this is an object, and we will start creating the setting the properties. So one thing is the title of this. So we'll set it as a title, that is the text of the form, and after that we set the size of this form. User form dot size, and the size equals to new object system dot drawing dot size. So as you can understand, this is the size of the form, and I know this size I have already used, so I'll go with 290 150, but you can adjust based on the requirement and your settings. Okay, so the next is this is the size of the form, and what will the location of this form, and so that location will be start position, and start position will be center screen. Along with this, we can set other properties, but before we go with that, we'll try to see what is the current status. So one is the message, so this is message, comma is not required, and then it is title, and this is title, and default text is the default text. Okay, so the form is at least up to some extent ready. We'll try to run it. Okay, so we don't see the form. That's not a problem because we have not called user form dot show dialog. Okay, so this is the title. So title is appearing here, but you can see you can maximize it, you can do this, you can do everything, you can minimize. So these things we don't want to happen. So what we will do here is we'll set some more properties so that these buttons are not available. Dot user form dot auto size is equals to false, and we will set the minimize box to false. So and these settings we'll use so that we don't see any unwanted state. The next is maximize box. And so these properties are set, and we'll also set the user form to the size grip style, and so we will hide it. And after this we'll Windows state to normal, and then form border style to a fixed 3D. Mind there is no extra space in between. So now this is all set. We'll try to run it so that we understand how it goes. So we don't see any extra buttons here. We cannot maximize, and it's in center of the screen. So I think this is proper. Next, what we're going to do is we'll set the OK button, and so this is already created. In OK button, we will set the properties. For example, we'll set the location first. So location will be the new object. So whether it's a location or a size, it will be a drawing object, and the property will be set as size to 115 and 80. This is a location which I already know, but you can adjust it based on your requirement. Set the size equals to new object, and that is set to system dot drawing dot size, and size is 75 and 23. And so these are the properties which are already set. Now we set the main thing, that is the text. So OK button will have OK, and the next item which we will be setting is for the text is we'll add a property that is a click event, which will be set so that the data can be set or any values can be set accordingly. So what we will do here is we will use a script level object called value, and this will be set with the string whatever will be there in the text box. So text box has not come yet, but whenever it comes it will work fine. So we'll have a value equals to this text box. The property will be the text itself. So this property is set, and the next thing is it will close the form. So what is our variable? User form dot close. Once this is done, then we can add this button. So oops, what I did. Okay, now the next is we have to use this variable, which is your form, and then you will add them controls dot add, and that what will be added is the OK button, not the user form. So now this is set, and we think this should work. So I will copy it from here to this place to see. Okay, we can see the button, and when we close it, it will close the window and the variable will be set. The next thing is the cancel button, which is almost the same as the OK button. So we will not add much effort in doing that. We will simply copy paste and change the variable name. The only difference is I think the location will be different, and rest all will be almost the same. So cancel button, we set it to 195. It will be just beside the OK button, and rest all properties will be same. And the other thing is it will just close the form. It will set value to nothing, and now the last element is to do here. And one more thing I forgot. Okay, so now cancel button is set, and it has the event associated with this. We will just display this. Let's see. Oops, we have placed the OK label, so we will make it cancel. Okay, so this is done. The next element is the text box itself. So text box, we have to set it with some of the properties. So one is it will be set with the text as the default text what we have, and it will have some more properties. For example, we will set the location for this. So user text dot location equals to new object system dot drawing, and drawing.size, and we set the location as it will be set to 10 and 40, and the size will be adjusted accordingly. We copy this line and we set the size property, and size will be set as 260 and 20. 260 and 20. So on the location, size and text, these properties has been set. Now the next element is to add this control into the user form. So we add this. So label is the text box has been added. The next component will be the label, and we think it's almost the same as the text, so we'll keep it the same name, and it will have the message. So we'll confirm the message was the dollar message. Okay, so now everything is all set, and we have to change the property for this. We can set it to 20. So first we'll show the label and then the text box. Better if we keep the same order so we understand it. Now we cut it and we'll paste here. So now the dialog is all set. It has 2 buttons and label and the text box, and the label is set with the message. So a message could be like enter the text here or something like that, and the default text is set in the user text, and the user form has the user text. So this is the part which we have to change. This is the message and this is the text. We try to run it. So this is message and this is the default text. The variable must be set, but we don't know what was set. So what we will do is here we will check if the value was set. So as you know, we have this variable. If the variable equals to quote, we will print the state as echo user pressed cancel. Else this will be set with the value user entered, and then we place the value here. We'll use a square bracket so that you know there's an extra space. So dialog is shown and then value is parsed after that. So this is the message. We'll enter some text like some code or value, and user entered. Clearly you can see the value here. So overall it was not a big script, and we were able to show everything properly. And if you have this function, you can call it as many times you want. And not only this, you can have a return here so that the return goes to the user, and based on that some action can be taken. It can be also stored in a variable. So thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe us. Thank you so much.